I've always been a little heavy, even in grade school. I always remember kind of being the chubby kid. And I lost some weight during high school, but gained it back. I was fairly thin during college, fairly active then as well. But after I got married is when I really started piling the weight on. I was probably about 180 pounds when I got married, and by the end of my first year of marriage, I was probably 220, and I've been steadily increasing ever since. From time to time, I try various diets. I think I tried the Atkins diet a couple of times. The first time I had pretty good success with it. I think I lost 40 or 50 pounds, but I wasn't incorporating any exercise. And eventually, when I went off it, like so many do, I gained the weight all back, plus a little more. Towards the end, last few years, I'd pretty much given up. I kind of figured I'm healthy. I thought I was healthy anyway, but as I got older, I started to realize that I wasn't as healthy as I thought. Last summer, I was getting pretty close to 40 years old, and I have twin boys that are a little over 3 years old now. And I had started to notice that, just getting down on the floor to play with them was a bit of a chore. Getting up, taking care of them wasn't as easy, and, I was also getting pretty close to 300 pounds, so I started to realize that if I didn't do something about it, I was going to end up maybe not seeing them graduate high school or get married or see grandkids. So first decision I made was to just alter my diet again, kind of like I'd done in the past. I figured as big as I was, if I ate 2,500 calories a day, that's probably a normal diet for a normal person. I figured I could probably lose weight on that level of food. So that's what I did. I started eating that, and I decided not to be somewhat of a dietary rebel. I thought, okay, I'll follow the establishment recommendations on, amount of carbohydrates, amount of protein, amount of fat, and had pretty good success with it. Dropped 40, 50 pounds between September and January, February time frame, but the weight loss started to slow, and I found myself plateaued. Anyway, I hit this plateau, and I'd been bopping around between 250 and 255 pounds for 6 or 7 weeks. It felt like forever, and I thought, okay, here I am again. I've lost 40 or 50 pounds. I have a decision point. I can either go back and gain the weight back like I always have in the past, or I can press and try to find additional information that'll help me break the plateau and that'll help me lose the weight permanently. I didn't want to bounce back, because this time it wasn't just about, cosmetics, trying to look better. I really felt responsible for my family and had health reasons for wanting to drop the weight permanently. So I did start looking, investigating on the internet quite a bit. One of the people at work mentioned that she had heard of a fellow named Tom Venuto, and that he was an all-natural bodybuilder. She said he looked fantastic, and that she had heard some MP3 recordings of him. He seemed really knowledgeable, and I have kind of a scientific, analytical sort of personality, you could say, and she said that reminded her of him a little bit. So I decided I would check him out, and I looked up the website, kind of read through the material there on the page talking about burn the fat, feed the muscle. And the gal that told me this is in great shape, so I figured he came highly recommended, so I went ahead and bought the ebook and pretty much devoured the ebook. I read it straight through within a day or two, and then I've since gone back and read it again. But that's kind of how I came to it, is I got stuck on a plateau, and I needed something to continue the fat loss. Right up front, the first chapter on goal setting and the mental aspects of it were something I had never even really considered before. I'm not much of a planner or a goal setter, so that was really new to me. And I went ahead and did what he said, and I found that that's really fueled my motivation. I don't find myself, waking up each day saying, am I going to go to the gym? Am I going to stick to the plan today? It's almost a foregone conclusion at this point, but I really attribute that in large part to the goal-setting exercises and the mental programming approaches that Tom recommended. The other aspect that he really stressed was the need for resistance training, the focus on maintaining your lean body mass. The whole concept of dieting without resistance training and, the implications of losing lean body mass made a lot of sense to me. Since I'd lost weight before and plateaued and gained it back, you can become successively higher and higher percent body fat. So that made a lot of sense. And then you could really tell that Tom has thoroughly researched both the scientific literature and the actual practices of people that are really successful. If you want to look like a bodybuilder, it makes some sense to maybe adopt some of the training and nutritional ideas that bodybuilders are using. So it seemed like the complete package, and thank goodness I found BFFM.